Your teenage child has been diagnosed with persistent physical symptoms such as FND and chronic pain, and your child's sleep sucks. What do you do? Hi, my name is Dr. Lee. I'm a pediatric health psychologist and chronic pain survivor myself. My mission is to help teens and their parents resolve persistent physical symptoms such as chronic pain and FND so that they can get their life back and feel like normal again. Because I truly believe every teen who's struggling with chronic pain and FND deserves so much more in their lives. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and make sure to grab a free PDF parenting guide on how to help your teen at home who's struggling with chronic pain and FND. The link is down below. So today's video is about sleep. Well, first of all, what is FND? Very briefly, FND is basically an umbrella term to describe these cross-wired problems between the brain and the body, even though your child brain and body are looking okay. It's a legit condition and your child's not making things up. And if you're ever wondering, FND and chronic pain are biopsychosocial phenomenon. Therefore, it is not just one thing that is causing or just one biological or one psychological problem. It's a biopsychosocial phenomenon. So let's talk about sleep. Of the biopsychosocial factors, sleep is actually falling under the biological phenomenon or factors because sleep is a type of daily life issues. Therefore, it goes under the biological section of the biopsychosocial phenomenon of the FND and chronic pain. Okay? And as you can imagine, your day starts from the night before. Therefore, sleep is really important. And when I say sleep difficulties, it could mean difficulty falling asleep, primary insomnia, or staying asleep, so waking up a lot during the night, and then having hard time waking up in the morning. Okay, so these are three different sort of ballpark categories of sleep difficulties. Some kids have all of them, some kids have one or two of them. Or your child might be having okay sleep hours per se, but then the quality of sleep is atrocious. So when your child wakes up in the morning, she might be feeling like a zombie and super exhausted. However, when the night comes, your child might be feeling sort of like in a weird energetic state where I would call it tired. So your child is tired but wired, either physically or mentally or the other way around. I would call it tired. And usually when your child is having a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep or waking up in the morning or feeling tired and feeling like a zombie during the day, that's usually the sign that the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system, is overactivated or activated and locked in. So your child is having a hard time turning down the volume of the fight or flight system. So that is directly related to the sleep problem. What can you do? There are actually 6 different things you can do as a sleep protocol, and this is something that you can do at nighttime. And then I also want to talk about something that your child can do during the day leading up to the bedtime. So let's get to it. So number 1, for the sleep protocol, your child has to wake up at the same time with or without school or weekend. And your child needs to wake up at the same time every single day for at least 21 to 28 days, which is 3 to 4 weeks. Because sleep problem, for whatever reasons, as an end product is a habit problem. Therefore, your child needs to sort of undo that old habit and then create a new habit. And in order for your child to create a new habit, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to form a new habit, just like anyone else on the planet. Therefore, your child needs to do these things consistently for 3 to 4 weeks. So if your child is saying, oh yeah, I tried that for like 3-4 days or maybe like up to a week and it didn't work, and so I gave up on doing that. Well, that's not enough. I hear this a lot from teens that I work with. Yeah, I tried that. And I always ask, so how many consecutive days and consecutive nights did you try it? Whatever the protocol that they have been doing. And they're like, a few days, up to a week. Or some kids might say, yeah, I've done that for a month. When I actually asked him, Did you do this every single day, including weekend? Or did you do this every single night, including weekend, for the entire 30 days? Chances are no. Well, most of my people that I work with would say no. Okay? So going back to the first protocol, step 1, start waking up at the same time no matter what, every day. So let's say if your child is waking up at 6:30 in the morning to go to school, does your child need to wake up at the same time, 6:30 in the morning on weekends? Sounds like a torture. If your child can do it, great. If not, I would also give a 2-hour window. So your child can quote unquote sleep in until 8:30, which is a 2-hour window from the 6:30. So you kind of have to be very diligent about this. And I usually like to start trying with the 5-day challenge. So it really depends on where your child has been with the sleep condition. So if your child is really struggling to wake up at the same time, even like 1 or 2 days, then starting to wake up at the same time for 5 days in a row might be a good place to start. If your child is relatively waking up at the same time, okay, then I would stretch into 7 days a week, including weekends. Number 2 is go to bed only when your child is ready to fall asleep. So I don't want your child to force themselves to go to bed when they're tired or feeling like they're ready to disco all night long or feeling super energetic, because chances are your child is not really falling asleep right away. Therefore, what's happening in the brain is they are starting to form this relationship. The bed is a place to stay awake, and bed is a place to feel frustrated because they're not able to fall asleep right away. So we have to break that chain of these thought domino. So you have to stay out of bed until your child is ready to fall asleep. Number 3, well, related to step 2, if your child is not able to fall asleep right away, then in the meantime, I want your child to stay out of bed and get this, do boring things. So this is not a time to binge watch Netflix show, or this is not a time to play video games, or this is not a time to do homework, or this is not a time to stay up and chat with your friends, right? So this is the time that you have to do something boring. So I like to joke with my patients, what is your least favorite subject? People say math, history, or whatever it is, class, right? And I said, oh, okay. Do you have a textbook or notebook or something like that for that subject? And they're like, yeah. And I'll say, okay, read that from cover to cover. I bet you it's going to be very boring. So why not? Right? So don't use anything that is potentially engaging, because that produces dopamine, and that actually does not help with falling asleep. Right? So there you go. Number 4, teens may not like this, but it is true. Absolutely no screen for 1 to 2 hours before the projected bedtime. So let's say your child is typically going to bed at 10 or 11 p.m., whether they can sleep or not, aside from that, then no screen by 9 or 10 or 8 or 9, depending on how you want to do the math. So starting from the projected bedtime and then 1 to 2 hours before that, no screen time. A lot of teens will say, yeah, but I watched this like a mindless YouTube video to just like feel chill and then fall asleep. Well, mentally, you might be feeling chill, but you're constantly stimulating your brain. Therefore, it doesn't work. So there's that. And if you've been doing this and then sleeping perfectly fine and then waking up in the morning like feeling super refreshed and all that, then I would say by all means, continue to do that. But we're talking about this because your child is having a problem with sleep. So there you go. Number 5 is absolutely no daytime naps. So some of the patients that I work with, as soon as they come home from school, they take a cat nap for like 30 minutes, an hour to 2 hours, sometimes heck like 4 to 5 hours. And that is totally defeating the purpose of the sleep-wake cycle. Therefore, we need to cut the tie. So no more daytime naps. So do their best to stay awake, which means walk around the house, drink water, or just somehow stay awake, even though they feel super tired and feel like a zombie, because that's the whole point. Then leading up to that bedtime, they're more likely to fall asleep over and over time. Okay. So number 6 is, this may or may not apply to every single teen, but many teens that I have worked with, which is no caffeine after lunchtime. So some people live off of Starbucks or energy drink or whatever it is. And I would say, okay, you've gone through so many things to fix your sleep. Therefore, I'm just going to give you a leeway a little bit. You can have some sort of caffeinated beverage in the morning, but not after lunch. It has to do with the production of melatonin, which is kind of sleepy, chemicals in the body. So I don't want that to be disrupted. Therefore, no caffeine after lunch. So those are the 6 things that they can do sort of kind of during the day, but leading towards bedtime or waking up time. Now, what can your child do during the day or throughout the day? As I mentioned, the sleep problem is related to this overactivated sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight system, right? So anything and everything that you can do to turn down the volume of this fight or flight system is a good thing for the sleep. So for example, number 1, how long is your child looking at screen consecutively? Meaning, we rely on our eyes a lot during the day, and then sometimes, if not a lot of times, this eye strain and eye fatigue can also mess up with your child's energy level and sleep-wake cycle. Therefore, your child can take a frequent eye breaks. So like looking like this, like closing your eyes for like maybe 10, 20, 30 seconds at a time, and just wake up and engage in things, and then closing your eyes a lot, or blinking, a lot, and then really trying to get your eyes moisture going. So these frequent eye breaks will go a long way. Number 2, in the name of relaxing, what can you do to relax your mind and body? So things like soul belly breathing, or any sensory soothing techniques, such as snuggling up with the warm, cozy blanket, or something tactile that would be soothing their mind and body. Your child can also try to go outside, weather permitted, or just taking a break, right? So just having this go, 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 go mentality, and then physically and then time-wise, to really slow down and then just kind of be present with not doing anything throughout the day. Not like all day, every day, because they have to do a lot of things, but taking frequent mini breaks will go a long way. On that note, the mindset. So there is a video that I talked about, the I can't mindset. That is also one of the culprit towards the bedtime. So I would also like to challenge your child to change this mindset of I can't to I am committed to. I am eventually going to control my body. Therefore, I am committed to try anything and everything to improve my sleep. So that mantra will go a long way as well. So these are the things your child can do throughout the day. Turn down the volume of the sympathetic nervous system. Therefore, these things will help your child get to this tired and sleepy state at bedtime. As I mentioned, everything is not super difficult or rocket science. However, it takes consistent challenges, because you cannot just do this once, twice, or 3 times and then expecting to solve the problem, right? You have to do this at least 3 to 4 weeks minimum. Oh, and by the way, if your sleep gets better, if you fall off the cliff or fall off the wagon of this protocol, then guess what? Your sleep problem might come back, So again, this is a long-term marathon. Therefore, start with something and small things you can do, and slowly, if not weekly, add a different element to it. So again, this is more for the lifestyle daily activity and nightly protocol that your child can do to get better. Now, FND and chronic pain are a legit condition and your child's not faking. And these conditions can be debilitating, but with the right approach, they are definitely treatable, solvable, and or manageable. Now, if you and your bright teenage child are ready to take actionable steps to resolve persistent physical symptoms such as chronic pain and FND, then you might be a good fit for my program. Click the link below to schedule a call to talk to me directly and see if you qualify for the program. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.